yesterday was a big deal. The process is not the protest. It's not true that the protest did not materialize yesterday. It is part of ZANU-PF propaganda. They want to claim victory. It is important for them to claim victory, that there were no protests. But remember, to make sure that there were no protests, they made it a point. They undertake a heavy deployment of security forces, and they did not only deploy Zimbabwe Republic police officers, they also deployed the Zimbabwe military in all provinces, including in the borders of Zimbabwe. Why was this so important for Emmerson Mnangagwa, for the zviganandas, as well as also for the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa to contain the protest? I'll be sharing these details on this live broadcast. But before I do so, let me greet and welcome you to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, why was it important for Emmerson Mnangagwa to start the protest on the 31st of July 2026? Number one, Mnangagwa recently signed Constitutional Act number 3 of 2026, and the impression that, remember, they signed this because it followed a flawed process. It did not follow the constitution to achieve this act, and they have been pushing propaganda that all Zimbabweans have no problem with this act. They even go to an extent of saying it was even supported by the opposition, forgetting that the opposition that voted for this bill, which was translated into an act, it is the opposition that was created by ZANU-PF out of the existing opposition political party. So, number one, to clarify things, ZANU-PF wanted to demonstrate that they want to give a false impression that people support Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026. This is what they want to do to people who are outside Zimbabwe. So they will give, we know that protests were suppressed. Heavy artillery was deployed in all provinces of Zimbabwe. They did not leave any stone unturned. Emmerson Mnangagwa did not even risk also to attend the Bulawayo mining entry in Bulawayo because he feared he could potentially be bullied by the people of Bulawayo, especially if they hear that he is at the ZITF. That's why he cancelled the ZITF program, allowing Chiwenga to preside over that particular ZITF program. So you will notice that the propaganda machinery of the state, that is Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, already they are actually using the enforcement of the suppression of the protest to give an impression to the outside world that the people of Zimbabwe rejected protest because they support the amendment that was done by Emmerson Mnangagwa. This is not true. We know the people did not actually go to the streets because they were suppressed. There was a heavy presence of the security state apparatus, both the intelligence, the military, as well as also the Zimbabwe Republic Police, CID. They were all over. They were all out, heavily deployed, given instructions to shoot and kill, to arrest anyone that attempts to protest, if not possible, to kill. Like they were ready to kill, like what they did on the 1st of August, that is in 2018, like what they did during Kukuraonde genocide. They were baying to kill anyone who attempted to actually go to the streets of Zimbabwe. If they did not make a deployment, if they did not make propaganda to characterize protest as a violent activity and also threatening the people of Zimbabwe that they will arrest, they will kill them, I mean, that action on its own is a clear demonstration that these people, they wanted nothing. They wanted to contain the protest at all cost, so that they can claim victory afterwards and say people support us. That is why they did not come out to the streets in numbers. We did not record any incident because the people supported us. This is the story that has been done by ZBC today, about 2 hours ago. The story reads as follows. It says, government says the failure of planned demonstrations demonstrate broad public support for the Constitutional Amendment Act number 3 of 2026, saying Zimbabweans would not protest against constitutional changes they proposed and endorsed through the public consultation process. This is ZBC writing this hogwash. They were quoting a Minister of Broadcasting Services and Information. Speaking to ZBC News in Marondera on Friday, Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Service, Dr. Zem Soda, said what kind of a name, what is the meaning of Zem? Someone can you please assist me? Soda, at least we know many surnames, they don't have meanings. Dr. Zem Soda said the peaceful atmosphere across the country showed that the constitutional amendments were people-driven and enjoyed public backing. Exactly what I was saying. There was an agenda behind thwarting the protest. They didn't want any signs of it, especially during the early stages of the signing of this bill. The protests were suppressed. There was a heavy police presence carrying AK-47. The police that were deployed were not only the police with just arresting powers, but you could see they were wearing the material that actually, it was those, we used to call them orobai, these ones who wear protective clothing and they were geared to beat people, who are trained to beat people. These are the police officers that were deployed across the streets of Zimbabwe. So he says, this is the word of Sota. He said, so the Sota that I know is that one with chest bitterly. So there is this another one that is trying to be that Sota. He says, if there is anybody who was suggesting that the people were going to protest against the conclusion of CAP 3, which is now law, they must revise their strategies, because people have shown that CAP 3 was not imposed on anyone. It came from the people, and they had no reason to protest something they initiated and own. What happened yesterday is a clear sign that people have no grievances. Everywhere was calm. People went about their normal activities, and there was no reason for any protest, he said. So you can see they are claiming victory, and we know it's a fraudulent victory, and they know that this victory would not last for a long period of time because the problem still stands. At least with these protests, they were warned. I'm telling you, there are protests which are going to erupt without a warning, because Mnangagwa is not wanted. Dr. Sota said reports received from across the country indicated that businesses operated normally, with people reporting for work and no disturbances recorded. This is a lie. Not all businesses. It was not business as usual in Zimbabwe yesterday. He says, this is what he said. He says, we only learned about these planned demonstrations through social media, but around 3 o'clock, we had received reports from almost every district showing that people went to work as usual. There were no disturbances anywhere, and we are wondering where this kind of nonsense was coming from. We did not take it seriously, and neither did the people, he said. This is a lie. if they were not taking it seriously, why did they deploy the military? Why did they deploy the police, that division of police that is specifically trained to exercise ruthlessness against civilians? If they did not take it seriously, it was supposed to be a normal day. The ministers of the ministers of state and provinces could not have done the dramatic activities that we saw them doing, inflicting fear on people, mischaracterizing the demonstrations, rendering the demonstrations illegal. If they did not fear the people, they were not supposed to do so. So this is hogwash. This Sota guy, it shows that he is not the original Sota that we know. The soda that is a powder. It is actually just a bootlicker of Emerson Mnangagwa, the term soda. That is why he's speaking in such a manner. He is in that ministry. By the way, that ministry is supposed to be called the Ministry of Propaganda. During the time of Professor Jonathan Moyo, he would actually use this ministry to try. But this one is a poor, the propaganda that is exercised by SOTA is very, very poor. And also, have you wondered why Professor Jonathan Moyo all of a sudden has gone silent? Did they pay the fellow? I think they didn't pay him after succeeding. And also, why is he not back to Zimbabwe after this Camp 3? All that shows you that it's not, yes, thank you. I mean, I've spoken over and over that the protest just began yesterday. We are yet to see more. And that's what I was talking of. Some of them, they won't be organized. Social media will talk about them when they are already implemented for these fools to see that the people are angry. And this is causing much anger to the people of Zimbabwe. So the regime that always claim victory where there is no victory, it has already started. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Oganqobo Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the side of the live broadcast as I give you more.